Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. I just saw this video and it was one of those pranks gone wrong. And it's a girl who is waiting for her boyfriend to come home and she's going to tell him how small his man parts are. And so she sets it up and he comes home and she's like, I have to talk to you. And then she's just saying, I'm sorry, it's just too small. I can't be with you. I'm going to go be with someone else. And he's like, okay. And she's like, well, I'm going to go be with someone else. And he's like, then go. And she's like, you don't want to talk about it. And it's kind of narcissistic. I'm not going to say she is a narcissist, but it's where in narcissism, they don't foresee what their little prank is doing. She wants to put it all over the internet, probably not with his consent. Not watching it and then, haha, what do you think? Should we post it? She was going to post it and she's humiliating him. Even if it's just for a moment in time, either he didn't believe it and was confident in himself. But that's like, kind of rude to purposely give a jab at something that in society, a lot of men are conscious or self-conscious about that part of their body. So she's trying to make him feel uncomfortable. She's trying to make him feel uncomfortable, to get a kick out of it, to think it's funny. And, there's certain pranks where, I don't know, put whipped cream on somebody's chair and they sit in it. It doesn't hurt their soul. So she's not thinking about how she's hurting him. And I just thought it was very interesting, something that we should learn, because he was like, okay, then go, kind of like, you don't want me, then I'm not going to fight to keep you here. You want somebody else, then go for it. And a lot of times when we're in these relationships, we're like, but, and we're trying to work through things. We accept those humiliations, we accept this, we accept that, and we give them second chances. We're always trying to make it better. And it was kind of mind-blowing. She thought it was going to be this whole different scenario. She felt confident in herself that he's gonna like beg me not to leave, he's gonna cry or latch onto me tighter, and it went wrong and she started crying. And he told her to turn the camera off. She kept it going. And it's kind of how narcissists are. They don't think how they're going to hurt you. They don't care that they hurt you. They thought it was funny. She did stop and she, I think, regretted what she did. So maybe she's not a narcissist, but narcissists don't have the remorse. If she is narcissistic, she probably would feel some type of emotions. Narcissists can feel depression, anxiety. They feel the negative emotions. And they can feel happiness. They don't feel a connection though. And it's really hard to tell who is a narcissist and who isn't. But in that situation, she had no concern of what she was doing. Like, I don't think you should ever let somebody feel negative, ever. You should always keep things upbeat and positive and encouraging. You could do the silly little pranks. Narcissists tend to overdo it, to where it's a frustration. It's a type of, like, you're losing your mind. Like, where are my keys? They love to hide keys because they don't want you to go anywhere. It's a form of control. It's not silliness. It's a form of control. My ex wanted me to gain weight. So I just wanted black coffee. And so he would get me hot chocolate. And yeah, I like hot chocolate, but I wanted to, control my own weight. And I had another friend who they would stick like a lot of extra butter on purpose in noodles to get them to gain weight. And so you're thinking, mine, I could tell, but for her, she's thinking that, she's eating somewhat healthy. And they like to do things like that. Some narcissists, they purposely get you drunk. They'll encourage you to drink more or to try certain drugs or roofie you just so they can get what they want. And I just thought it was really interesting how that man stood his ground. It was refreshing. And because she did it, because of the way he did it in that video, I don't think she's ever going to do that again. Now, if she's a narcissist, she's going to keep pushing. Like, okay, what else can I do? She'll try again. She wanted the fame, the grandiose. But like I said, I can't say that she is actually a narcissist, but narcissists will do things like that because they're either going for YouTube or TikTok followers, the views, they're only concerned about themselves. So maybe she learned a lesson from that, but our narcissists don't learn. If they cheat on you, they might apologize, but then they go back and do it. And that's one of the differences. Did they learn from what they did? And narcissists almost never change. The only time they might stop cheating is that they get a paranoia of sexually transmitted disease, which, don't take that the wrong way. It is out there. So I don't mean it's not good to be paranoid, but worried, that's a better word, worried about catching sexually transmitted disease or worried about pregnancy. That might hold them back. But, if they can get away with it, they'll do it. And that's the traits of a narcissist. As long as it's just like a thief, they're stealing from us. They're stealing our soul. So if they can get away with stealing our soul, they will. Thieves don't rob every place they go into. Thieves do not rob every place they go into. But if it's easy, those are the targets. And with narcissists, they prey on vulnerable, empathetic people. Right now, if you needed $100, you're more likely to get it from a religious place, such as a church or a synagogue or a mosque. They might give to you. But if you go to like a homeless, or I don't even know, like Walmart, are they going to give you $100? So they hone in on where to go, who to secure a supply with. So sometimes, we think about this new supply. Are they better than us? If you think about it, they started out the same way we started out. So at this point in time, they're where we were in the beginning. And then we got kind of either fed up or we tried to kind of work through things. But when we work through things, the narcissist starts to realize that we're not buying their crap, that there are things that they need to work on in life. They don't like that feeling because it has them to self-reflect, to understand who they are, why they're not fitting in society, what they are doing wrong. And their whole life has been dedicated to finding that love that they didn't feel when they were a child. And this is where it messes with our mind. We're like, but we gave them that love. We gave them that love. And it's foreign to them. I watched, I took some sign language classes and we watched this one movie where this person got their hearing back and they hated it. They hated it. And they actually undid it so they could be deaf again because it was so foreign. It seemed like, wow, everybody has that. Everybody has hearing. I want that. And as soon as they get it, they can't stand it. It's overwhelming. All the sounds and every little rustle, the wind, you can hear the wind now. You can hear, all these things that you didn't even know existed. and you just move and you can hear your hair moving, or smacking your lips, things like that. It's just too much for that person in an instant. And the narcissist gets what everybody else wants. Everybody else wants love. It's what they thought they wanted their whole childhood. And because they lacked it, just like the deaf person lacked hearing, it is outside their comfort zone. And I hope that's like the best analogy I've been able to think of so far is, think about that deaf person. Their whole life, they're probably like, why can't I just hear? Why can't I be normal? Why can't I hear? And as soon as they get it, they think it sucks because it's not what they're used to. If they were born hearing, that's what they're used to. That's what they adapt to. And the narcissist has gone their whole life seeking love that they wanted from their parents, or with the grandiose, they were put on a pedestal, and it's hard to maintain when they're in adult life. So sometimes people their emotional growth is stunted at different stages. Some of them are like 2-year-old, some of them are like a 6 or 7-year-old, some maybe even 12 years old, as far as your narcissistic emotional ability to relate to people. But the narcissist, once they get that love, they're like, wow, like I'm used to the chaos. That's why they create chaos. And it's almost like that's why they start to devalue you, because when they idealize us, and we give it back, because that's the mirroring, that's during that love bombing. It's too hard for them to maintain, and they start to knock us down, so we're on their level, and we start to feel uncomfortable, because our level is, yeah, we are great people. We are great people. So if you started getting uncomfortable in this narcissistic relationship, that's because you're up here. Deep in your heart who you are. And don't let this person take that from you anymore. Don't let them knock you down. And I just really want you guys to know that it does get easier, but you got to stay strong. And you got to put some actual effort into the healing process. Let yourself cry when you need to cry, but don't let it drag you down to where that's a rut you stay in. When you start to get sad, go do something, go call a friend, take a nap if you need to, but don't go back to that negativity. Because narcissists don't change. They devalue us because they are uncomfortable with themselves. And the relationships, it's based on mirroring. They're not content in themselves, that they just mimic our movements. They mimic our emotions. It's an exchange of energy. And that's why you can't let things go wrong. You can't question them on things, but this is where it gets tricky. In a healthy relationship, the other partner wants you happy. In a narcissistic relationship, they want themselves happy. So if a healthy person's taking care of you, foreseeing what their actions are going to do, you do that for them. It's a balance. But the narcissist relies on us, and they take advantage of us. So if something makes us uncomfortable, they start to devalue us, because they see themselves in that. They made us uncomfortable. They did that to up themselves. And it's kind of mind-blowing on how to understand how that works, but it's the mirroring, it's the exchange of energy. And the narcissist doesn't like our boundaries. And that's where things go wrong, is in a healthy relationship, they respect each other's boundaries. but the narcissist takes advantage of it. They lie about coming through with their promises, because it's what they want in that moment. And once they start destroying things, that's where the devaluation happens. So if you're wondering how long it's going to last with the new supply, it just depends on how strong they are as a person. Just like that video, that guy stood up for himself. And she probably learned her lesson if she is a healthy person. But she's already showing traits of not caring, not foreseeing, the grandiose of wanting the attention on her, thinking everybody's just going to think it's so funny. It's a delusion. Because there's probably some men out there who are like, that's not funny. Like if that happened to me, I'd hate it. Because there's other ways to do pranks. And this world is picking up narcissistic traits. Social media has a lot to do with it. Everybody does these facades. There's all these, filters and photoshops, and nobody is showing their true selves. And yes, I have a filter on. I'm not a narcissist, but it leads to, and now I'm guilty of that, huh? But it leads to delusions, keeping up with the Joneses. Why do I have a filter on? Everybody else does. I'm not narcissistic, but society puts expectations on people, and society is messing with reality. Society as a whole is turning so narcissistic that in order to fit in, we have to do these survival things. So yeah, we do start picking up certain traits. We do start going along with certain trends. We have to survive in this world too. And the more we deal with narcissism, be aware of this, the more traits that we can pick up, the more things we do to fit into this world that's just changing. And if more of us would take stands, it would make a difference. The narcissists, they need to learn a lesson. And sometimes they do, but they don't stick to it because there's so many other places to go, so many other empathetic people to get the supply from. If everybody took a stand, that narcissist would have to conform. And unfortunately, the amount of narcissists that are out there now, it's almost like the empathetic people have to conform. And that's going to lead to the destruction of society. Have the good people conform to bad? That's destructive. We're already seeing how crazy this world is getting. All these mass shootings that are going on, the divorce rates, the single parent families, the abandoned children, possibly even the abortion topics of, I don't want to get too deep into that because we all have different beliefs on that, but the world is sadly changing. As a teacher, I see the attitudes and the entitlement and the frustrations on an increase. And it's scary. I see the lack of please and thank you and sorry. And when I do see a sorry from a kid, it's like, it's fine, sorry. And they don't mean it at all. They don't look at it. And those are children. I know those are children, but at the ages I've taught, they should have some obedience, I guess, ability to fit in to the way, the rules of society. We have rules for a reason. you know, don't push and shove, stand in line, take your turns, respect others, give other people a chance to, you know, be the leader at a time. But narcissists are stuck in this self-entitlement to where that's where the chaos is. And the fights, physical fights that people are snapping, you know, there's a lot of times I don't feel safe. People are carrying weapons now. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't protect yourself, but there are people who almost expect to get in a fight. So it's different if you're doing it for protection, but they know they're instigators, or they know they're going to piss somebody off, so they protect themselves if they're narcissistic. Comment below on, you know, if your partner, if you believe they were narcissistic, if they got in a lot of physical fights, not necessarily with you, but take that as a red flag. If they can lose their cool, I've never been in a fight in my life. Never. Other than maybe, you know, like I had brothers and sisters, we really didn't get physical with each other. I'm not gonna say we never did, but they were never those full blown, it was maybe just to stop, you know, that kind of stuff. But the type of fights that I see at school, and the things that they're over. Like, I don't think I saw my first school fight until 10th or 11th grade, something like that. And I didn't see that many. But as a teacher, I had 3 fights in one day in one classroom with 20 kids. 3 fights, 20 kids in one day. 3rd grade. So society is changing, and we all need to start taking stands. I just thought it was an interesting thing to mention. Topics are always welcome. Let me know if there's something you want to learn about, and I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe. Have a good day.